Every collapsing empire eventually discovers the one thing it cannot afford to lose. For the American media industry, that thing turned out to be a game. While cable television was losing subscribers, while news divisions were cutting staff, while streaming companies were burning billions of dollars chasing profitability, one part of the industry kept getting stronger: live sports. Between 2010 and 2024, the value of major sports broadcasting rights exploded. The studios were struggling, the leagues were thriving, and every major media company knew exactly why. Because live sports had become the last thing audiences refused to watch on delay. The story begins with a remote control. For most of television history, viewers watched programs when broadcasters told them to. If your favorite show aired at 8 o'clock, you watched it at 8 o'clock, or you missed it. That arrangement made television incredibly valuable. Advertisers knew exactly when audiences would arrive. Networks could predict ratings. The entire business model depended on one assumption: people would show up on schedule. For decades, they did. Then everything changed. First came the DVR, then on-demand viewing, then streaming. Suddenly, audiences could watch whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. The schedule stopped mattering, except for one category: live sports. A drama can wait until tomorrow. A sitcom can wait until next week. A football game cannot. Once the result is known, the experience changes. The tension disappears, the urgency disappears, the product becomes something else entirely. Live sports became the last form of appointment television, and that reality was worth billions. The warning signs were there. Streaming executives saw them long before they admitted them publicly. Most entertainment content has a retention problem. A subscriber joins to watch a show. The show ends. The subscriber leaves. Keeping people subscribed requires a constant stream of new content. Every series has to be replaced by another series. Every hit has to be followed by another hit, and producing those hits is expensive. Sports works differently. Fans don't subscribe for one game. They subscribe for an entire season, then the playoffs, then the championship, and when one season ends, another begins. The story never really ends. Neither does the subscription. That distinction became incredibly important. Because what leagues were really selling wasn't content, it was urgency. They were selling something no streaming platform could easily create: a live moment. A viewer can binge a series next month. A viewer cannot experience Game 7 next month. The value exists because the moment disappears. The leagues understood this, and they built entire business models around protecting it. Blackout restrictions, broadcast windows, delayed highlights, rules that frustrated fans but preserved scarcity. And scarcity created value. By the middle of the 2000s, the NFL was generating billions of dollars every year from television rights alone. Before merchandise, before sponsorships, before ticket sales, the league had become one of the most valuable assets in media. Networks knew it, the leagues knew it, and the negotiations reflected it. Holding sports rights became less about profit and more about survival. A network could lose viewers elsewhere. Sports kept people connected to the ecosystem. Sports kept advertisers interested. Sports kept distributors paying. The leverage was enormous, and the leagues used it. Publicly, the negotiations looked straightforward. Privately, they were anything but. The leagues had learned an important lesson: never become dependent on a single distributor. The goal wasn't finding one powerful partner. The goal was making every powerful partner dependent on you. That's why games ended up spread across multiple networks, multiple streaming platforms, multiple distribution partners. Not because it was convenient, because it increased leverage. When Amazon paid billions for NFL rights, it wasn't buying the most important games of the week. It was buying relevance. The alternative was worse. Competing for attention without live sports had become almost impossible. The leagues understood that, and the price reflected it. Then the rest of the sports world noticed. If scarcity created value, then protecting scarcity became the strategy. The NBA's massive rights deal sent a message across the entire industry. Sports rights weren't approaching a ceiling. They were still climbing. And every league wanted a larger piece of the market. That changed everything. Regional sports networks were among the first casualties. For decades, local fans watched their teams through local broadcasters. The arrangement wasn't perfect, but it worked. Then subscriber losses accelerated. Economics changed, and the business model started collapsing. Network after network disappeared. Some filed for bankruptcy. Others shut down entirely. Teams migrated to national streaming arrangements. The leagues described it as the future. Fans experienced something different. Games became harder to find. Subscriptions became more expensive. Access became more fragmented. A fan who had watched the same team for 30 years suddenly needed new apps, new subscriptions, new platforms, and in some cases, no replacement existed at all. Nobody asked for that outcome. It arrived anyway. A regional sports anchor spent more than a decade covering her local franchise. Then the network lost its rights. The station shut down, her access disappeared, her audience disappeared, her job disappeared. The knowledge she had built over years couldn't simply be transferred to a streaming platform. The coverage vanished with her. A retired baseball fan watched his local team through the same regional network for nearly 3 decades. Then the network went dark. The team still played. The games still happened. He followed the scores online, but something had changed. The connection was gone. History has seen versions of this before. Standard Oil understood the value of distribution. Hollywood understood the value of theaters. The sports leagues understand the value of the live moment. And right now, the live moment may be the most valuable asset in all of media. The question isn't whether sports rights will continue to increase. They probably will. The question is, what happens when access becomes too expensive? What happens to the fan who can't afford another subscription? What happens to the local broadcaster who once made the game feel like part of the community? What happens when the most valuable content in media becomes available only to those willing to pay for one more platform? The game goes on. Not everyone gets to watch it.